Welcome back to Toy Fair 2017, your official live coverage of Toy Fair this year and next year and last year and going forward. And we're here now with Steamforged Games. And we're here with David Carl and one of their latest games. And before we get into that, tell me a little bit about the Steamforged Games company and when it started, how it started, what their general premise is.
So Steamforged Games started in England a few years ago. We've only been in the United States for less than 2 years now.
Wow.
Their flagship brand that they started with was a miniatures game called Guild Ball, which is a rough combat sport where players get points for getting the ball in the goal, but also for beating up other people.
Did Guild Ball ever come over to the U.S.?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Guild Ball is now in distribution in the U.S. and in hobby stores and various other stores throughout the country. It's been growing very rapidly. We now have a Seattle office as well as the office in Stockport, England.
And when did you come on board, David?
I started actually consulting with them before they even had a U.S. office. So
Wow.
I've been working with them for a while and then have only been kind of full-time with the company for about a year now.
So their general thing is games.
Absolutely.
Steamforged is all about games. And what kind of games are they more geared towards?
So a lot of the games that we do are based in worlds that we've created, and then also the other half are based in worlds that other people have created. Like the Dark Souls game that we're going to be looking at today is based on the popular Dark Souls video game series.
So is this your first year at Toy Fair?
This is our very first year at Toy Fair.
Wow, welcome, welcome. And how's it been going?
It's pretty well, meeting a lot of great folks and getting to chat with people and see very interesting things, as you guys no doubt have during your interviews throughout the weekend.
Definitely, definitely. So now we have this game called Dark Souls. Mm-hmm. And so what's this game all about? It seems like it's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on here, and we've just brought a sampling. The box itself contains 27 highly detailed miniatures like this.
Okay.
Some of them in the brown here, these are the characters that you or I or our friends could play.
Okay.
You can play with 1 to 4 people, and you're all on the same team.
Okay.
It's a fully cooperative game. We win together or we lose together. And so when players play through the game, if they're defeated, because one of the hallmarks of Dark Souls is that it can be pretty difficult in the video games, and the board game can as well. But if we are defeated, we can just come back again, play it again, try even harder next time to get the equipment that we need. Each character has their own different types of equipment, like the Herald here has heavy armor, spears. The Assassin over here is quicker, more dexterous. They have some poison-based weaponry and other things.
Okay.
So each character is a bit different. Also, the enemies that you fight are all a little bit different. We've got a few different bosses that we're showing off here, and the bosses are controlled by a deck of behavior cards. And behavior cards tell you what they do. Since nobody's playing the bosses, we need a way to dictate, well, that's how this guy moves, that's how he fights.
That was going to be my question. It's like it's a cooperative game. Everybody's on the same team. Who are we playing against? And it's the bosses. You're playing against the bosses. And they all have their own behavior patterns?
Right. So at the beginning of the game, we'll be at what's called the bonfire tile. In the Dark Souls video game series, the bonfire is kind of your safe place in the darkness, and you explore out from there. In the board game, you'll explore through different encounters, and the encounter cards show different types of enemies that will appear. Different type of zombie-like creatures called hollows, different types of enemy knights with great bows or axes, and you fight through different encounters, and over doing so, you're able to get some of that treasure I talked about, equip up, put it into your hands and put armor onto your body so that you're ready for more battles, and also increase your stats, which allows you to equip better and better armor and equipment throughout the game.
Now it's obvious that this comes from the very popular Dark Souls game. Mm-hmm. And how hard was it to incorporate some of those things that did happen digitally, but it's like, how do you put that into a card, and who came up with that idea, and how long did that process take?
So the owners of Steamforged Games, the two guys who kind of came together to create Guild Ball, are Matt Hart and Rich Loxham, and they created kind of the initial system for how to battle the bosses and the cards that dictate their behavior.
Gotcha.
And then we spent a whole week with 6 game developers in a small cabin in England, and we just sat down and just hammered out how different things work. How does the exploration work? How does the treasure system work? How are the characters distinct from one another so that we can have fun playing different types and different archetypes of characters in the game? And after that, the development fell largely to Alex Hall and to me. We've been working on the game now for almost a solid year at this point, refining the game. The core game itself is about to come out, so that one's done, and we're working on different expansions that introduce new characters, new enemies, new things to fight, new places to go, various different tiles to explore. So a new experience that will allow the game to grow even after you've played through it. There's always something new around the corner.
So it's not available yet.
Not quite.
But it's coming very soon.
Very soon.
When can the viewers expect it?
So it'll be in stores on April 21st.
April 21st is launch day.
Yep.
And can they pre-order it right now?
Stores can pre-order through their distributors. Yes, we're through most of the major U.S. distributors for hobby game stores like Alliance, ACD, PhD, and other folks.
Right, and other great distributors.
Right.
And if people want to find out more about this particular game and the other games that Steamforged has, where would they find it?
So we do have a blog that covers various topics. Also, this game was on Kickstarter, so there are a lot of articles on Kickstarters in the updates. Anyone who wants, whether they're a part of
started with
Kickstarter
Kickstarter.
or not. Yep.
And then you guys grabbed it.
Well, we put it on Kickstarter.
Oh, you put it on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Nice.
But all of the updates on Kickstarter are anyone who wants can see them. And we talk about the development of different aspects of the game. We talk about some of the challenges of how things in the video game get translated. Sometimes we're able to do it more like a simulation of the game. Some things are very close, like how we have some of the same stats and they increase at roughly the same rate.
Right.
And other things need to be more abstract.
Right.
Like we do use dice when there's no dice in the video game.
Right.
But that's what allows us to determine how much damage can you block, how much damage can you deal to an enemy. Right. So balancing that out to give players a fun board game experience that's also very true to the video game experience.
Right, you have a bunch of constants and a bunch of variables to make it interesting. So in the development stages, what is the shortest game you've seen and the longest game you've seen?
Well, if people die fast enough, you could probably get through a game in 40 minutes or so.
Okay.
Usually it takes about 90 minutes for a game once players understand the rules.
Right.
Because you'll fight through some encounters, then do one boss fight through some more encounters, and then fight an even tougher boss to really take down the game. And so it can go, though, up to 2.5 or even 3 hours when people are just kind of learning or really taking their time and having snacks and drinks, enjoying themselves, you know.
Now, is this a never-ending game?
No, it is not a never-ending game.
Okay, so there's approximately how many bosses do you need to beat before you conquer the game?
Well, the standard gameplay is to fight against one kind of weaker boss called a mini boss.
Okay.
And then eventually get to one stronger boss called a main boss.
Okay.
There are also systems in the rule book, though, that allow you to do it in more of a campaign style.
Right.
The game includes 6 bosses, not just 2.
Right.
So you've got some variety there. And the bosses are different in their moves that we looked at. They also each have their own treasure that they drop, which also mimics the video game.
Right. So after you defeat them, you get a treasure from them.
Stuff.
Right.
So you can play in that kind of standard game, exploration, mini boss, exploration, main boss, or you can play in a campaign sort of system where you do go from one game night to the next game night, keep the same characters and do new things the next time. It's all up to the players. We wanted to provide the tools so that people can really have fun with it in the way that most works for their own gaming group.
And it sounds like, in the future after it's released, you'll be able to add things to it. And
oh, yeah.
So I think the viewers and the Terrifics out there will really be looking forward to, when this was released in April and into the summer and the updates that are going to come with it and the expansions. and the different, you know, things, the different experiences that the players are going to have, because everyone's going to be different.
Yeah, everyone's got, people who have played the video games all have their own things they're looking forward to most.
Right.
We've got an expansion coming that adds in the mimics, which are treasure chests that actually come to life and attack you. We've got invaders that also come in and attack you. We actually have summons, though, that come in and help you.
Okay.
All different things that are part of the Dark Souls world that we're able to then bring to the tabletop for people who enjoy the Dark Souls video game, for people who enjoy board games, for people who enjoy working together because it's cooperative, it's got that teamwork element.
Right.
So a lot of different people who will really get a kick out of Dark Souls, the board game.
Well, that's great. For all those Dark Souls lovers out there that you played the video game, get ready for the board game. It's coming out April 21st, and David Carl has done a great job in explaining everything to us, and we'll be looking forward to it. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you so much for having us.
And we'll be right back after this live coverage from Toy Fair 2017. Be terrific.